Welcome ladies and gentlemen, this is Bucket from Reviving Gaming, and today we're going to be looking at the mighty quest for epic loot. Now this is a free online game. I wouldn't really consider it an MMO because, while it is multiplayer, you can't play against or with other people. You run in and ruin their castles, but you'll see that in a minute. You select one of three different classes. There are the Knight, the Archer, and the Mage. There is a fourth class called the Runaway that is unlocked through in-game purchases. Now, if you're looking for a strictly free-to-play option, you are going to, of course, avoid that. In the game, there are two modes. There's Attack and Defense. In the Defense mode, you have to prepare your castle against other players invading it and taking your treasure. Now, there are minions and traps and all sorts of different things that you can set up against other players. Pretty cool, but overall it's all dependent on you attacking, because in order to get better upgrades for your castle, you have to level up your character. This is where the attacking comes in. Attacking, you raid other castles. In the other castles, you fight against other players' traps and minions, all sorts of different things. There are even some boss monsters that you have to go up against, and they're a little tough. Now, each time you raid another player's castle, whenever you're killing minions and the boss monsters inside of it, you get loot drops, as most video games whenever you're raiding dungeons. So the loot drops just better equip your character, and really loot drops are about 99% of the reason that you're going into the castle. Because once you break into the treasure room, where the treasure chests are held that give you extra gold and life force, they give you such a small amount of gold and life force that it's basically worthless to even enter the room. Now, what is life force, you may ask? Life force is what you need in order to summon better monsters and upgrade your castle. Now, there are lots of different little things that you can add into your castle that are pretty cool, like a blacksmith and an alchemist, which you can get potions and better equipment through those, but really the equipment that you get from the blacksmith is pretty much worthless, because you get better equipment in the loot drops than you can possibly make in your blacksmith. Now, this is a free-to-play game, which makes it pretty sweet. I killed about 3 hours the first day that I played it. But even with it being free-to-play and the different things that you can add into your castle and different abilities that each class has, everything like that, I still don't find it to be that intriguing. I think it gets pretty boring pretty quickly, because you're running into castles, fighting the same monsters over and over and over again to get the same shitty loot drops to slightly increase your character's level, and the XP that you get from each dungeon isn't worth it. You go up against a dungeon 2 levels higher than you clear it out perfectly, and you come out with, oh hey look, it's maybe a tenth of the amount of XP that I need to my next level. So while this does make the quote story of the game last a little bit longer, it's really not worth it. It just gets boring and ends up being a waste of time. I mean, yeah, 3 hours, maybe 4 or 5 for people that really get into the grinding aspect of games. It can be fun, but that's about it. I'm really glad it is a free-to-play game. Reviving Gaming is giving the mighty quest for epic loot free-to-play game on Steam a 6 out of 10. Now, it would have scored a lot lower if it was a pay-to-play game, but as it is free-to-play, and you can do all of this without having to pay a cent out of your pocket, it's kinda nice. This is Bucket from Reviving Gaming. See you guys later.